Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today is another review video. From the books that I read during Spookathon, I'm trying to catch up and get all of the reviews done so I can move on and just do book tags. But before I get into this, I do want to say that tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, November 4th, for Peter's Book Club, we are doing the live stream discussion of Carolyn Kepnes's book, You. Which is very strange. It's going to be an interesting live stream tomorrow to kind of hear what people have to say about it. I wouldn't say I dislike the book, but I will tell you that it was not what I expected it to be whatsoever. And so many people are like, I love this book, I love this book, I love this book. So it's interesting to me, out of all the books that we've read so far for the book club, that this is like, I've gotten so many comments, I guess, in the past, which is why we chose this, from people saying this is like one of the greatest books you have to read. It's a great thriller. It's very interesting. I don't know that I would even necessarily call it a thriller. So check in tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love to have the discussions. It's fun to hear what you guys have to say about the books that we read. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join Peter's Book Club, it's listed below. It's on Goodreads. All you have to do is just join the group and follow the channel. I put up videos on here, you know, about the books that we're reading. And after the live stream, I will do a full spoiler review of the book. So you guys can come and check that out. Let me get a sip of coffee. Okay. So I was going to do a different book today, Graveyard Shakes, which was like a graphic novel for elementary school kids. I actually had meant to take the book over to my nephew, Carlitos, because he is starting to read with his mom, and I thought it would be a fun book for them to read. It's a graphic novel, but it's for elementary school kids, and it is fantastic, and I will review that in the next couple days. But today, I wanted to review Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, best-selling author of The Bear and the Nightingale. And at the top, you can see right here, R.L. Stine himself says, terrifying and fun. R.L. Stine, author of Goosebumps. So when I saw this at Half Price Books, I think is where I saw it. Yep, I ended up getting it at Half Price Books. It was $13.59, and list price $16.99. It's very short for $14, but I was super impressed with this book, and I actually read it and also listened to it on Audible. The Audible version is fantastic. It really is. Very short, though, to spend an entire credit for. I think it's like 5 hours and something. So it's a short book to listen to, but it's good. So anyway, okay, and this was my book with purple on the cover for Spookathon. Let me read to you what it's about, first of all. When 11-year-old Ollie finds a disheveled, weeping woman by the river threatening to throw a book into the water, she doesn't think, she just acts, plucking the book from the woman's hands and running away with it. As Ollie begins to read, she finds herself entranced by a creepy tale, Small Spaces. Set on a farm hundreds of years earlier, it's about a girl, the two boys who loved her, and a peculiar deal struck with a smiling man, a sinister specter who grants your most tightly held wish, but only for the ultimate price. Ollie is still reading the next day on a school trip to a local farm with a haunting history. There, Ollie discovers not only that the farm is run by the woman whose book she stole, but also the graves of the very people she'd been reading about. More alarming is what happens on the way home. The school bus breaks down, forcing Ollie's teacher to return to the farm for help, leaving his students alone with the oddest bus driver Ollie has ever met. The driver warns Ollie's class that someone or something will soon come for them. It's at this moment Ollie receives a chilling message on her digital wristwatch, which had been broken for months. The watch suddenly spells out, run. As night descends and scarecrows in the surrounding fields seem to crowd close, watching them, Ollie thinks the watch might be right. Joined by only 2 of her classmates, Ollie takes to the woods with one last word of advice from the bus driver ringing in her ears. Avoid large places at night, keep to small. And with that, a deliciously creepy and spine-tingling adventure begins. Now, let me tell you something, okay? I love Goosebumps books, but this is so much more than a Goosebumps book. You really get to know the backstory of the characters that are in there. It's a lot about grief, I will tell you that. So, if you're a younger child who, let's say, I would say this book is anywhere appropriate for 3rd grade going forward. I think that if they have suffered a major loss recently in their life, this book is probably not for them. I mean, it has a lot to do with grief and loss. And it kind of like unfolds throughout the course of the book, which is really interesting how the author did it, but I thought it was well done too. if you read this book as an adult, you won't be disappointed. I was very intrigued with this book, and although it was about, somebody that was in 6th grade, a lot of the jokes were for adults. A lot of them, the storyline I thought was scary enough that it kept you wondering. I mean, it's very much like, the scare factor in it is very much, I would say, like Goosebumps kind of fear. So it's not like terrifying fear, but the suspense is enough that it keeps you interested in it. So, I mean, I didn't like come home and I was like scared to walk in the door. You know what I mean? It's not like that. But it was, I would say, suspenseful enough that it kept you interested in going. The characters of Ollie, Olivia, and her father are probably my favorite in the book. There are 2 classmates of hers of which she gets very close to, and they kind of go off into the woods at one point. That's where the book for me kind of turned around and got really interesting. I gave the book, I don't have my Goodreads with it. I probably gave it between a 4 and a 5. I would give this book, for its grade level, probably a 4.6, 4.7, and I'll tell you why. There were a lot of fantastic lessons in this book as well. It wasn't just a scary suspense novel. There were lessons about how to get along with others. There were lessons about how we speak to others. There were lessons about isolating and staying by yourself, grief, all this kind of stuff, and letting go of all of that, moving forward, making friends, seeing the good in people. There were so many like really great lessons in this book. The book just went above and beyond, I think, just being a suspense novel. And honestly, I think my expectations were that it was just going to be a suspense novel. So when I got done with it, I was like, wow, I was pretty impressed with that, right? Like, it exceeded my expectations. So it made me really happy. I think anybody would enjoy reading this book. If you're a lover of like middle grade up, you'll enjoy reading this book. The story is so well woven. I will tell you this, I also thought that I would feel a lot of like other stories in this, if that makes sense. Like, that it had been like, this would feel like it had been stolen from this, or this had been stolen from that. And while some of the ideas are not original and not authentic, they also, to me, feel original in the way that they were presented, if that makes sense. And I have not read The Bear and the Nightingale, but I've heard fantastic things about it, so I'm actually thinking about getting that and reading that as well. I think Catherine Arden has really proved herself to be a suspense writer in this novel, and I'm really excited to maybe like check out some other things that she's read. So if you've read this book, put it in the comment section below and let me know what you think. I think the cover of it is absolutely beautiful too. And it's spooky. There's a school bus and the scarecrow, and my dogs are running around like crazy right now. Welcome to my household on a Saturday afternoon. So anyway, it was a very cool book. I loved it. It was totally worth it. And I've been trying to give all of my books away to people recently. So I'm going to give this book away to a friend of mine who has somebody that is that age, and I hope that they enjoyed it as much as I do. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget the live stream. Bye.